Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Episode 34 of Cyrus Says was released on September 10th, 2015.
Just to remind everybody that language usage and content that we provide here may be disturbing, disgusting, probably will be and should be. Words like bloody custard and words that rhyme with that may be featured. Actually will be featured. In fact, perhaps will only be featured. Just warning you.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Yes, and it's about time we talk about cell phone abuse, because everybody talks about how they've attacked the cell phone and the cell phone has destroyed their lives. But my worry is that people are using the cell phone 24 hours a day. I cannot take it anymore. Recently, I had dinner at a very special place. Somebody had just passed away and the cell phone went in the middle of the speech. It was just so wrong, and it was a terrible... It's always the wrong sound. And just before that, we miss Ranjeev, was a very nice guy. We miss him. So my point is, can we please have some areas where the cell phone doesn't operate? In the bedroom, for example. As you know, I'm a happily married man, so I sleep with my son, and his phone goes off all the time. Alright? Because Liverpool didn't score, Liverpool does score, or somebody in bloody England kicked a football, and he gets a message, and I have to get up. So my point is, there has to be some limits. You're in the male urinal, and why do we do this in urinals? People are peeing, and the guy next to you suddenly ting 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 ting. हाँ बोलिए, हाँ बोल, हाँ बोल. नहीं होगा, हाँ बोल. He's peeing, can't he focus on peeing? He just goes on talking for half an hour. I want some sacred areas with telephone mobile use. I'm saying not in the toilet, not at the dinner, not in the bedroom. Can we have 3 places to begin with? I don't mind driving though, because driving can be tedious, so I'm okay with that. No, not the right thing to say, right? It's called Cyrus Says.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Yes, on Cyrus Says, we've got Rahul Bose, who's an actor. He's also a rugby player. He's also a songstress. And he's a translator of Bengali and Malayali scripts into languages nobody else can understand. We will talk to him about his life, his times, and about his take on various different things, which I haven't thought of as yet. Rahul Bose, in the flesh, 5 foot and some inches. Yep, it's Cyrus Says, and our guest today, Rahul Bose. Not to be confused with Rahul Roy, who hasn't made
Rahul
the cut
Dev.
yet. Or Rahul Dev, who's not made the cut yet. Rahul
or Rahul Dry Cleaners. Or Rahul Lingerie.
Or Rahul's sister, Prafula. I just threw that out there. I like the name Prafula. I always have trouble saying words like that. No, but Rahul, thank you for being on the show. And of course, I have researched...
Well, if you could take my handcuffs off, then I could actually say something.
Rahul, don't lie. You said I want to come on the podcast. Your next question is, what is a podcast? Your third question, who are you, was a little embarrassing. But frankly...
But the thing is that one has to do this for publicity. I'm so hungry for the stuff.
Fair enough. And
I can't make the front pages because people are murdering other people.
How can you match that?
Yeah.
How can you match that?
Yeah.
But I was just thinking how seedy television has...
I could eat a human being, maybe.
In the old days, politicians had the bad name, right? In India, wasn't it that way? They'd always have some murder charge and corruption charge, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now television has outstripped them because we've got like behemoths from television. We've got like iconic figures who are now enmeshed in this murder and beyond. There's a money trail. It's a soap opera that's never going to end.
Yeah. I think definitely people visiting places outside Bombay for rest and relaxation. I think that tourism is going to really take a hit now.
Pen, which I thought was something you write with.
It's now going to become horror. Like the Tower of Silence. No, Tower of Silence. The London
Thanks
Tower.
for dropping that in. Tower of Silence horror. A communal remark, the Parsis will be agitated.
Sorry.
Those that are left.
In England,
right.
The Tower of London has that horrific tour, right?
Yeah,
the tour
bloody
of horror.
tour, the bloody tour.
Yeah, so maybe something like that.
No, I'm all for it. I think you should. Leopold has done something like that. After that terrible 26/11, they kept the bullets and all. You can use it to your advantage.
But what happens when those bullets actually rust and fall off and the blood stains wear off? What do you do?
We replace it with the noodles because they're really old. I've eaten. No, I love Leopold. But coming back to Pen, for example, nobody had heard of Pen except people who drive from Mumbai and get stuck there. But now all of North India and South India and East India, they all know where Pen is.
Yeah, I think writers are getting very upset because now the pen is mightier than the sword.
It is and dirtier, uglier, more gruesome. But let's go into that story for a second now that you brought it up. I didn't want to. But I just want to ask you something. I heard off the record that if no body is found or you can't match the skull, bones, whatever's left with the DNA, and then there is no body. If there is no body, there is no murder. It's a simple physics. No body,
incorrect.
No murder.
No, circumstantial evidence can actually
So what is circumstantial evidence? Oh, Rahul. And I say, oh, Rahul, with no sarcasm.
I can only use a couple of phrases in a very, very sort of intellectual way, but you expect me to back it up with real intelligence? You're not going to get anywhere. It's not possible. What are you talking
we would use a disclaimer, but it's not visual.
You're talking to an actor.
You're right. Fair enough. Back out quickly.
Not a thinking person.
No, but I met this famous lawyer who told me about a week back, she's finished, Indrani's locked up. And yesterday, or just before we did this podcast, the message is very clear. If you don't have a body, how do you have a murder?
Can we move on?
No, that's all the topics I have. Okay, Rahul, fair enough. Too much of that Indrani thing going around. And in case she's guilty, we're the ones, in case she's not guilty, we're the ones who pointed it out. Right? More you.
I said, well.
Okay, we'll share it.
This is too
you,
good.
me and Prafula. Rahul Bose, let's talk about Rahul Bose first now. A man who's done lots of interesting things. Now, I know you from school and, there's this club we go to.
You've seen me naked in the bomber
I've
gym.
seen you naked and I've appreciated you. I've appreciated your beauty. Not quite Pamela Anderson, but hey, hello, somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's another story I wanted people to know about you.
360 degrees.
No, let's say that you're 40 odd.
48.
40, damn you.
40 even.
Damn you. I was going for 49. Damn it. 48. So you're 48 years old, but you've kept the same weight.
Yeah.
Am I right? Since you were in your early 20s.
Since I was 19.
And the only person who's done the same thing is Venkaya Naidu. He's remained the same weight from 19 to now. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it's basically what you have to do is to use a lot of hair dye.
How does it help the weight, Rahul?
Huh?
How does it help the weight?
Well, it kind of, once you dye your hair, then you realize that, okay, now the rest of the body has to follow, otherwise you look ridiculous.
I can see Anupam Kher getting agitated immediately with that remark because there's no question of, well, let's move on. No, but I know you're trying to be immodest or rather modest here. And it's about the workout regime that never changes because there's got to be some secret which allows a 19-year-old to remain at the same weight category and look almost the same as he did at 19 and 48.
Well, plastic surgery twice a day after meals.
So you're not going to give me a straight answer?
No, I will give you a straight answer. Look,
because I've seen you run.
I love it. I don't know.
Hey, what's with running under the sun? You and Milind Soman are the only two people I know who can run at 10 in the morning.
No, hang on 1 second. Milind is a phenomenal runner. I mean, I've run with that guy and he's run a marathon a day from Delhi to Ahmedabad because
Is he scared of the dark?
No, he didn't get tickets for, how it is, air tickets and...
He's just cheap. He didn't want to go by planes and ran. Yeah,
it was season time. Yeah. But besides that... He's an incredible runner. I do the sprints and the short stuff. I mean, literally the short stuff. The long distance running that I do is only because I love cities that come together for a run. And I hate to sound touchy-feely about this. I'm not a road runner, but I love it. I just love the whole feeling wherever you go.
When you go outside Mumbai, when you travel in Europe, Western Europe precisely, that's in Paris you run basically.
Why?
I don't know. I just threw it out there. I'm trying to give you an exotic touch.
I just cannot understand how this podcast does well at all. Does anybody listening to this?
The podcast runs more than us at the moment. Okay, now I'm coming back to the whole running thing because I want to share a secret about you. I've observed you running at 10 o'clock in the morning, all right, with the sun beating down on you. And at 40 degrees on a summer's day in May. Why? Rahul Bose, why? Successful actor with no family to worry about. Why are you running at 10?
I love the sun. And I think that I want to challenge. I keep trying on different sunscreens every day. And I keep trying to see which one is actually going to be effective. None are effective, which is why you can't really see me right now unless I smile.
Mm-hmm. No. It's also to do with the sun's rays. They reach the taller people first.
Ooh, nice one. Yeah.
Nicely put. Well, I thought we'll go in the same direction. Okay.
No, I actually I've always loved the heat, love the sun, love to run, love the summer. My best time used to be fielding at cover in the middle of a hot summer's day at the Bombay gym.
Even if there was no match on. You just go and stand there. Yeah. We'll come to your sporting prowess, but I'm more interested in knowing whatever happens. This is what I've heard, that even if you're shooting at like 7 in the morning, you somehow, outside Bombay or wherever, you somehow run. Is that true or is that just a myth?
Well, it could be myth America or myth USA. We're not so. But I can say that it's more or less true that no matter where I am, it's not that I have to and, call my bodyguards and start. No, none of that stuff. It's just that the day is incomplete without me doing something. So if I'm in Darjeeling and there's a squash court nearby, I'll fix up to play. Like when I was doing Santosh Sivan's Before the Rains at Munnar, I made friends with people at the Munnar Club, and every single day after filming, I would take my makeup off in the car, which took about 2-3 hours, and then I would get into the squash courts and play as, or maybe I put I should keep my makeup on and play as a stranger then. Anyway, so I played every day.
Once you figure out the answer, just tell us. You went and played squash.
I actually I love to do something.
So obsessive personality, that's what comes across to me. Obsessive.
And Pot is calling the kettle black.
Yeah, well, we're not interviewing me here. We're interviewing you here. People are interested in your life.
I really...
Listen, every time we have a famous person on, people actually tune in. So be nice. Because we need you. You understand?
But famous people are not supposed to be nice. I've learned that over the years. We're not going to come back. No, we can't come back to anything. Let's move on.
Okay, now let's go back to career. It all started, everybody knows, with that English August, which just pushed you, propelled you into a world which is now getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Films in English, even Hindi films which are Englishy or westernized, you know. The market seems to be getting broader for, let's say, the upper middle class.
I actually think you're dead wrong.
I'm dead wrong?
No, I think that those kind of movies are totally in.
Which ones?
Art house,
okay.
Off the beaten path, whether it is, the entire body of work that filmmakers like, I'm trying to think of Dhobi Ghat, Ship of Theseus. These are films that would never have been made 25 years ago.
Because you can't pronounce words like Ship of Theseus.
However, the English film is dead.
You think?
Yeah, the English film is dead because everybody knows that you can make the same kind of film and you can make it in Hindi and it'll have 10 times the audience.
And I'm going to risk this. I'm going to take 3 doors in one sentence. Where will you put Dil Dhadakne Do? Which category? Because it had a westernized feel to it, and
yes.
your performance was very well appreciated. I've done my research, and
because I was playing a misogynistic.
You were playing a rogue, and something that you perhaps have researched in your time. So where do you place the film?
It's definitely a mainstream film. Mm-hmm. I don't think the construct of the film leaves you with any kind of surprise or any kind of... While you're watching the film, you know that this is going to be a story about a dysfunctional family that finally comes together, whether fully together or split. We'll see. So that construct is pretty mainstream. I thought it was written very real and very well. It was written in Hindi. Now, would normally all those characters speak the way they did? In Dil Dhadakne Do, I think they actually were very, very close to what they would not... Normally, you see English films in Hindi, if you know what I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
But this really wasn't. I think Reema and Zoya had created a kind of a language that spanned both, and it did work. But in essence, Cyrus, it's a Hindi film plot.
Okay, you were photographed in a romantic position with Priyanka Chopra. Tell us about that. Was there any truth to that? What happened? What's the relationship like? Off camera, we saw it on camera where you were dominant, but what about off camera?
All of that, actually, I have no recollection of. I was given something to drink in the morning, and I woke up 2 days later. In my bed, I was completely...
1 minute. You went to sleep, it was Priyanka Chopra. You woke up, it was Vidhu Vinod Chopra. It was a nightmare. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
It was all morphed. I mean,
it was?
I've given it to the Information Bureau cell to
Listen,
have a
she
look
was
at.
highly pleased, let me tell you, from what I gather. We'll take a break. We'll come back lots more with Rahul Bose. He's also a very good impressionist, mimic, and in his own way, when he lets his hair down, can be extremely funny. We'll come back. Back again with Rahul Bose. Lots to discuss in and around the week. But before that, I want to get back to films. Dil Dhadakne Do, if I can ever say it correctly without stammering. What was Anil Kapoor like? How does that work? Because I think, do you intimidate some of them? Because you bring your own body of work and, you're like this real actor sort of. And some of these guys are known to be fluffy. And is there ever a dichotomy? Is there ever a problem?
Well, I call him Mr. K. Mr. K and I got along really well because he and I used to be up. He used to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
He would say, his hair?
No, cardio.
Really?
Cardio. Yeah, he's incredibly
the opposite of me, is it?
He's incredibly disciplined. In fact, in the evenings, whenever there was a party or a crew get together or a cast, whatever, he would come in for about 8 minutes and then say he had paperwork to do. And I kept wondering, what paperwork would this guy have to do on a ship with no internet? I mean, we're on the ship for 50 days.
So it's a lie?
It was a lie. But it's such a beautiful lie because he says he's used it for 25 years. Sorry, Mr. K has been around for 5. So for the last 4.5 years, he says,
if you want to survive, yes.
I just do paperwork. I have paperwork to do, and he vanishes parties.
The other thing that they use a lot, do you use this? I'm told by journalists.
No, I like to crash party. I'm never invited to them, so I can never say paperwork. I keep saying... I have no paperwork.
Yeah, I have no paperwork. Embrace me. But do you use this excuse? The most famous excuse in Bollywood, and let's face it, you're part of Bollywood, is Madam Bath mein hai ya Sir Bath mein hai. Having baths. Is that something you use when people pester you? I find that fascinating. The same excuse has been going around.
But you have to understand, you need somebody else to pick up the phone.
Right.
Whereas in my house, since it's me and me alone, I have to pick up the phone and say, sir, put the shower off. Sir, bath mein, put the shower on.
But see, that's how I can segue into some impressions. Because you can play your Bengali, Man Friday. Come on, do a PK Banerjee for us. Now, people, you don't understand, but Rahul Bose has another side to him. We did a show called Khatron Ke Khiladi, which is basically a fear factor, where me and Angad, who's the son of Bishan Singh Bedi, discussed sport for, what is it, a 24-hour bus ride? I have a vague recollection.
We just went berserk.
And the women were screaming for us to shut up. And it was just amazing. It was almost like we'd taken them to Pleasure and Beyond, where they're like, no, stop! And
Banerjee diche, Chatterjee diche, Ganguly ke, hey, ball dekhane hello, hey, oi, shala, tama ekটু বিড়ি খাই, তারপরে, hey, কি, hey, goal, হয়ে গেল, কি হলো, একটুখানি আমি একটু ঘুমিয়ে পড়ি, একটু রসগোল্লা আছে কি? It's this kind of commentary that used to happen in the old days.
Yeah, Bengalis are fantastic, aren't they?
But yeah, and what I find very, very amusing is that there's no gender in Bengali. So my father used to say, Nasir called, she'll call back.
Yeah.
Or they have no singular or plural.
Tell us about Ella Fitzgerald.
To.
Please do Ella Fitzgerald. And set it up properly, come on. Because your dad's a corporate guy, he's well-bred, well-read, all that.
He was the best spoken Bengali in the English language, who could speak English, that I ever knew. So you would scarce expect him to have these fissures in his vocabulary, but they were. And they would take me by surprise. So one day we were driving. He was driving. I was sitting in the front seat with him. And he was on his way to work. He was dropping me off to college. And I was listening to Ella Fitzgerald on the stereo. So he said, "Why you are listening to this?" So I said, "What do you mean, Baba? I mean, it's lovely. It's Ella." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Way before your time." I said, "Yes, it is." And he said, "This is blue." Now, at that moment, there were two thoughts that flashed across my mind. One was, my God, even he doesn't know his singular from plural. And the second was, I am going to be using this story for the next 30 years of my life.
It's a fantastic story.
It's a great story.
It's that little touch which, makes everything.
This is blue.
This is blue, yeah. But can a man who loves jazz so much never say blues? I mean, how can that happen?
But, he would say, but then he would say, when he got agitated, he would say, "Where's my spec?" I would like, when I say where's my spec, I'm looking to go to the loo, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But Kapil Dev had a similar one. He would say player for the whole team. No? Player doing very well. And which player? All player.
Maybe there's a Haryanvi Bengali connection.
Yeah. The gender thing is true. I've heard leading politicians, I'm putting their names, talking about themselves in male gender, which actually makes sense sometimes.
This is hilarious.
Please.
Bengali director, true story, J.W. Marriott. Yeah. He's sitting there and explaining to me what was going to be a national award-winning Swarna Kamal film, in which it's one of the best films I've been a part of. Mm-hmm. And he's telling me this very crucial scene between me, my father, and my wife. So he says, "Hey, এখন তুমি শোনো, এটা খুব important scene. Hey, scene, you are going to her, and you are saying, Baba, I miss you." I said, "Dada, Baba, I miss you going to her." You are going to father. Then he says, "How dare you miss him? Why don't you miss me?" I'm like, who's he? Tomar wife, tomar bow. So at this triangle of two men and one woman, who's the he? Who's the she? Completely lost.
That's fantastic. And when you think about the whole homosexual laws not being passed, I mean, in Bengal you can get away. You go to court.
I have given birth to her. Who's her? You. He's given birth to you. I'm like, and then we get to the Bengali alphabet. Yeah. O for uphill, B for big tree, H for where.
H for where?
Where?
And F for?
Like this guy who came to me and said, "I do not understand this rhyme. YOLO, dirty fella." What it means?
But it's fascinating. Grown up in South Bombay, very westernized and all that. But you've been able to appreciate the one side of your personality.
Yeah, my mum was Maratha and Punjabi.
Yeah. In fact, you come from a very illustrious line on that side. General.
Yeah.
Who fought 2 wars and very, very famous in battle.
General Thorat, yeah.
Is that where you get your mad, bloodthirsty rush on the rugby field?
No, I think that's where I get my bald head from.
Oh.
Yeah, maternal.
You take what you get. Yeah. It's true. 99% of the genes, hair genes come from that side.
Oh, stop it, Cyrus. I can't take this anymore.
I've researched rehearse that. I'm always ready with facts and figures. All wrong, but I'm always ready.
I've got my set of headphones when I come on into studios like this with a wig piece attached to it. So when I wear the headphones, it looks like I have lots of hair.
But I just saw you doing an ad where you endorsed.
We have to move on. We simply have to.
The money
move on.
was good.
We simply have
was
to.
Was the money good?
And
that's all that's
to be.
important. Yeah. Now let's get back to your film career, and then of course on the next one I want to talk about sports, which is your real passion. And again, not everyone knows.
Yeah, let's talk about the Indian cricket team.
We'll come back to that. I want to just finish a few more questions on your film career. Now, you've worked with so many different people. Who's been like let's talk about top 2 or 3 actors you worked with, and then, if it's possible, a couple of those you perhaps didn't have such a good time with.
Actors, directors?
Actors, directors, whoever. Who are the 2, 3 you felt, okay, I'm working with someone, I'm elevating my game here?
Oh, without doubt, when Nasir, Shabana.
But Nasir, what about the temper? Is it true?
Nasir can't. The thing is, he just cannot stand mediocrity. He cannot stand.
Why did he leave the country? What was wrong with him?
Well, so I somehow see that side, and he can be irascible at times, but
Rahul, don't use words like irascible. A, I don't know what it means. B, whoever's listening with great difficulty are getting through the first half of the podcast.
Sometimes he can be short-tempered.
Much better.
But he was and he's delightful, and he's a great actor. I mean, I don't have to go to the older generation to start saying politically correct things.
Correct.
Even Coco, Konkona, she's just wonderful. Shahana, who I've worked with, these are actors. Irfan, these are actors. When I did Dil Kabaddi with Irfan, this lovely scene between him and me, where he's playing this guy who's out to discover his second sexual life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Post marriage. And stuff.
How I miss those days. Yeah.
Yeah. and I play the straight guy to his. And so and what happens is, when you're working with these people, you suddenly realize this is why you're here. This is what it's all about. You know that, Cyrus. You were on stage with Biloxi Blues. I remember when you were... Brighton Beach Memoirs.
1985. Huh?
1985,
yeah.
right?
Long time ago. Yeah.
And you were...
And then it's been downhill from there.
You were a child prodigy. You were, I remember you were Pearl's favourite.
I was.
Yeah, Pearl Padamsi's favourite.
It was purely my Errol Flynn looks, I think, at that point.
Yeah. No, but you were damn good on stage.
So can we go back to you? And
yes.
then when you do your own podcast, you interview me.
So actors. There have been a couple of actors, and this is a hilarious story. I should tell you this one.
Yep.
So I'm acting with this person, and there's a simple shot where he and I are just speaking to each other.
This is a big hero, popular hero.
No, this is actually this is a very popular theatre actor.
Oh.
And we are on stage.
Right.
Are we? No. We are on camera.
Right.
And it's a simple, profile shot. Both of us talking to each other. Mm-hmm. And suddenly this person takes a step back. And he's really well known in the world of theatre and cinema, especially in the old days. So that he takes a step back. And I can't see him suddenly. So I also take a step back. Mm-hmm. He takes another step back.
Why?
So I also take a step, because if he took a step back, then he would get what they call facing for the camera.
Oh, he's trying to cut you.
And therefore he would slowly create an over-the-shoulder shot. And I couldn't understand it. So finally the director said...
Did you rehearse it before?
No, we didn't rehearse the movement. We rehearsed the lines.
Yeah.
So when we went on, finally the director saying, what the hell is going on? Why are you guys retreating? I'm like, dude, this guy keeps taking a step back. Then I had actors who look at me...
Give us a name. Who's the guy?
No.
Oh, come on, Rahul.
Bengali from the old school.
Bengali! What's her name, the lead male actor? Excellent. Okay, we'll leave it there.
Actor step পেছনে নিচ্ছে কি করছে? So, and then there was this one particular actress who would rehearse looking into your eyes, and supposing that the line was something like, I know what you're doing, it's not good for you, it's not good for the world, and I'm going to kill you, right? Suddenly, when the time came for her to deliver a line on camera, she would look to camera. She would not look at me and say, I know what you're doing, this is what you're doing. And so I kept moving my head.
Because she wanted a face.
Yeah. And I kept trying to move, and there's a shot of me trying to move my head so that hopefully I'll make some eye contact with her.
This is the TV serial style where they disconnect from each other and just talk to
That's
camera.
what I was told.
And how did you manage?
No, I didn't. It's the worst performance of my life. Because I was weeping. I was looking at her shoulder. I was looking at her shoulder.
You were making love to the camera, as they say. For better or for worse. Well, quick word on Malika Sherawat before we go into another break.
Yeah.
That film again propelled you, I think, one of those big moments in someone's career was Pyar Ke Side Effects. Again, a very fresh film for its time, no doubt about that.
Malika's best work.
Yeah, extremely popular. But what was it like with her? And is it true that there was a little relationship behind the...
No, there was no relationship behind the scenes. We were actually, we were friends. She came over a couple of times for dinner at the time, Cyrus, before your mind goes into the gutter, when I was staying with my sister and my niece. And so...
You have to Indianize the whole thing and give me this family feel. But there were intimate scenes. So how does that go? How do you do that? Especially with people you don't know, as against theatre where you rehearse for 5 weeks.
It's terrifying. When you're actually on camera and there are 3 Malayali light men looking bored and waving flies away from their face. So it's just impossible. But later on, when you think about it, you're like, whoa, that was thank God for the light men. You know what I mean?
So are you thinking about the light men, the Malayali light men, when you're baking out with Malika? I mean, is that how it works? I mean,
to be honest, the Malayali light men were there during English August. When I had
your bottom was exposed?
No, when I had to masturbate under a sheet.
Man, I tell you, acting has changed so much from my time. Yeah.
and
the same guys.
Yeah, and
they're following you.
No, and
you're making love to Malika.
And Dave Benegal asked all the women to leave the studio.
What the hell's wrong
I
with
said, Dave, you've got this completely wrong. Chase the light men out. Let the women stay. So finally, I can't even tell you.
Bakra, man.
I had to use a prosthetic masquerading for my interest in manhood.
Yeah, I mean, who does that? He keeps the light men holding their rods. I mean, come on.
But
do us a Malayali accent. That's one you do really well. Come on.
Oh,
let's pretend you're one of the light men and you're watching
I'm
Bose.
trying to think of... I was stroking this pussy on my lap.
What?
I was stroking this pussy on my lap.
Which is, I was stroking...
I was stroking this pussy on my lap.
I think we need to take a quick break here. We'll come back.
It's a joke.
It is not. It's a pet. It's a perfectly normal thing to do. Everybody, if you have a cat, you put it on your lap, you stroke her. What is the big deal? Can you say it one more time? I just want to feel it.
You see, it was raining, and I was stroking this pussy on my lap.
Oh my God. All right. So we've lost the Bengalis, we've lost the Malayalis. Rest of you come back. It's called Cyrus Says with Rahul Bose. Back here with Rahul Bose, we'll leave the impressions aside and now talk about things that are close to him. He's highly opinionated and would fight with anyone over many things, but sports.
Yes.
Ishant Sharma bowled beautifully, but what's this new thing about, picking fights and sledging the Sri Lankans who aren't known to be like the Australians,
Well, I have to say something. In my 11-year international career as a rugby player, the tours I used to enjoy least were the ones to Sri Lanka.
Listen, you've got a market there. Be nice now.
No, I'm not even joking. I think there's some kind of an deep-seated animus against what we did with the Indian peacekeeping force, back in the day. Yeah, I think there's a resentment. I think India has been a pretty bad, shoddy neighbor over the last 30-40 years with the countries neighboring it. There has been a big brother feel to India. Sometimes it gets better, sometimes it gets worse.
So Pakistan hates us, Bangladesh hates us, Sri Lanka also hates us.
I can't say hate. I'm just saying that, what happens in rugby is that everybody has a beer after the game together. Yeah. And I actually can't remember a single time that we ever did that. Having said that, I don't know what chemistry was being played out in this series. But when it comes to Ishant, nothing excuses sledging or physical contact.
He's a different kettle of fish. But
Virat has obviously got him to do something with his bowling that he hasn't done before.
No, but the wickets were a little green, at least initially. I mean, there was movement, there was bounce. I've never seen that. Yeah. Sri Lanka is the deadest place to bat on.
I agree.
I think I'd get 100 there.
And he also pitched it up a little bit more than he normally does.
And swung. The ball swung. In fact, if you look at the Ashes and you look at India, Sri Lanka, these are two series where the ball really came into it.
But let me ask you a question. What is this big thing about the ball is swinging? You can't face a swinging ball. The swing has to be just that much to get an edge. Excuse me, Gavaskar, Vishwanath, Vengsarkar, Mohinder, they only played swing.
Rahul, let's be honest here. The wickets are so flat in India and in many parts of the world that opening batsmen don't bother about swing anymore.
I get it.
And when the swing happens, they just don't know what to do.
But why do commentators have to foster that entire the thing about swing being the big demon? Both of them used to swing the ball to second slip.
Correct.
It was ridiculous. And yet people scored double centuries at the time.
But there were times when the ball would dominate. In the last 15 years, the scores are ridiculous in some parts of the world.
Yeah. And
Test batting is definitely not as good as it used to be.
No question. Yeah, that's it. And
they can't bat periods. They can't forgive the pun, but they can't bat for a long time.
longevity is a problem, patience, and also technique. I think at some points there's a defensive technique that the Aussies could not show because they didn't have the metal in the Ashes and finished. Although I thought Michael Clarke, and I think Michael Clarke was the best captain in the world at the time.
I'm a big Michael Clarke fan. I used to dress up like him also.
And I'm growing to be a Virat Kohli fan, notwithstanding sometimes his outbursts of temper, but otherwise his aggression and his attacking instincts. How many attacking captains have we had after Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi?
Fair enough. To some extent, Kapil Dev on certain days, but definitely, I'm with you. Two things I like about Virat: A, his self-confidence, and B, his eyebrows. They're huge. And I think that's important because when you go out to toss, the guy looks at you look at him, he stares at the eyebrows, he's a little, bedazzled, boom, heads, tails, you don't know what happened.
I've noticed one, I have noticed the other, but what Virat and Michael Clarke have in common is that they have a candor and they have a confidence.
Yeah.
When they, especially in their
openness and a swagger, both, yeah.
Post-match, and I think that's, it works very well for me.
So they are glasnost captains. There's an openness.
Yes.
And there's a certain, and both have a swagger. I see a lot of swagger, which I like. A West Indianness about, well, not a today West Indian because they only have the swagger, not so much the talent. But let's say the 80s.
But if you even look at someone like Alistair Campbell, who's as spectacular as my shorts, Alistair Campbell, even when his post-match interviews, has a candor.
Cook or Alistair Campbell?
My fault. Cook.
Yeah.
Of course, Cook. Campbell was a little more exciting than my
I
shorts.
like Alistair Cook. I think he's not got his due. He's a bit like Rahul Dravid.
As a batsman, as a captain?
No, just as a player. He's left a significant mark on the English game. And, he's going to break all the records and he may come all the way close to Sachin if he has another 5 years.
No, I still disagree with you. I think he's far less spectacular than Rahul Dravid. I mean, and Rahul was a wonderful captain.
You're just biased because his first name is Rahul.
I didn't expect that from you, Cyrus.
The times are such.
But I think that Rahul, when he gave up captaincy, he had all the elements to be a superlative
That was another Greek tragedy. You're talking about Indrani Mukherjee, but that's another story which is waiting to, emerge maybe perhaps 10
West
15
Indies.
Years. What exactly happened, the 2007 tour? Who was with Greg Chappell, who wasn't?
Yeah, it was a very turbulent time.
It's not just a one-sided Greg Chappell was a fascist leader thing. There's more to it than meets the eye. But yeah, we'll talk about that. We don't have time to get into
JFK, Greg Chappell, these are things that
have to be opened one day. Who killed Martin Luther King? Not the famous peace activist, I mean the rapper, but that's another story. Rahul Bose, rugby player. This is big for you. Wherever you go, you've promoted the sport. And why the hell? What do you see in that damn game? There are 15 men jumping over each other, mounting each other.
You don't like the heat, you don't like the mud, you don't like the outdoors, you don't like running.
When the security forces at the airport touch my groin area, I scream, sometimes in ecstasy, but I really don't like it.
I think they're looking for something they can't find.
Fair enough. But they can find, but they got to work harder.
They got to work harder.
Yeah.
I'll send the message.
It's a bit like your masturbating scene. All right? I'm under pressure here. Yours was Malayali lightmen. Mine are big Jat boys who's standing there with uniform.
It's going to sound really crazy, but that's the most poetic game I've ever played.
Really?
It's got such poetry. It's got such rhythm. I know it's become much more physical in the last 5 years than it was when I retired 5 years ago. But even then, there's tremendous ebb and flow. There's a great poetry to that sport in 80 minutes. And more important, it's a sport that has taught me more, and this is not a joke, has taught me more basic rules about life than even my parents taught me.
Yeah, and they say sport shows your character when you're down, under pressure, blah, blah, blah. People get exposed.
You want pressure, then you come play rugby.
And also how your teammates react to situations.
My best friends today are not coincidentally, half of them are rugby players because if somebody can show grace under pressure in that sport, you hug them to your chest. I mean, not met.
What's the stereotype about ruffian on the field and gentleman off it? Is that true with the rugby player? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
As against a footballer who's a ruffian on the field and a ruffian off the field. This is some sort of class distinction which I can't quite say is true or not.
Well, it used to be to speak about the fact that rugby came from people who were from the upper class in England. In India, it's a grassroots sport.
Are you a big fan of the upper class?
No rich kid wants to join and play rugby and get their face broken. So I would say 95% of all rugby players in this country come from socioeconomically the lower strata, which is fantastic.
A couple of weeks ago, the MSP in an exhibition match hammered Bombay Gym, which would never have happened 10, 15 years ago. So is there a future of rugby going into the lower echelons of society or is there nothing like that?
Much more than MSP, Cyrus. We have the best team under 19 is a tribal team from Odisha. Even that tribal team of girls is incredible. We have teams in Nanded, Kolhapur. Malabar Hill is gone.
Malabar Hill is dead?
Yeah, the Malabar Hill rugby team.
Damn you, Rahul.
MHRC.
All right, let's get back to the life and times of Rahul Bose. So what's coming up next? Now, let's look at the future. How many films are there? You've already done, 25, 30?
32, out of which 5 or 6 haven't released. So maybe 27, 28.
32 films done.
Yeah.
What's up next?
I am on the threshold of I know I've directed a film called Everybody Says I'm Fine. I'm directing another one next year, which I will also be producing. But in the interim, in this next year, there's a very exciting film that I'm a part of. It's a biopic. I play a cop in that. It's a true story. And my role will be not just of an actor, but for typical cliched reasons, I can't talk about it right now, but I promise to call you, abuse you, and give you all the news for your next podcast.
Okay, fair enough. We'll always have you back on anytime. But before we let you go, a couple of quick questions that we need to answer.
No, I know what you want me to do. This is Rahul Bose, and to all the listeners of Cyrus Brocha's podcast, Happy Onam.
Yes, for
this
next
is Rahul
year.
Bose,
We
and to
missed
all
this
the
year.
listeners of
Go ahead.
Cyrus Brocha's podcast, Happy Diwali.
There you go. That's
This
exactly
is Rahul Bose, and to... Sorry.
What about the damn Parsis? Say something, you already massacred them in the beginning.
This is Rahul Bose.
Yeah.
And to all the listeners of Cyrus Brocha's beloved podcast, Happy Pateti Navroz.
Oh, Pateti is the day before. You don't say happy.
Sorry.
It's the day when you're supposed to...
Pre-happy Pateti.
Yeah.
Happy Navroz.
Yeah, that's right.
And good luck with the hangover.
There are about 40,000 SCs, STs, OBCs. You will do everyone because we're a secular country. No, Rahul, quickly, a couple of questions on... I'm going to ask you things that are happening this week. Just want to see your reaction. Taxi strike in Mumbai? Taxis off the road?
I actually don't know why. I haven't followed this one.
No, but is it good or bad?
It depends what the reason is.
No, because I think it's spectacular.
If the reason
I
is...
reached the studio in 11 minutes.
Exactly. If the reason is ecological, great. If the reason is something else, I'll have to... I honestly don't know the reason why this time.
All right. Let's look at the Bihar elections for a second, very quickly.
Yeah.
What's your take? A new triumvirate. And what is name calling this happening in politics, which is just fantastic suddenly.
Yeah.
They're really getting bitter and dirty.
Yeah, but that started 5 years ago. I think what's going to happen now, Bihar, if you ask me, in 2 words, dead heatish.
You think?
Well, I don't know.
But Nitish and Lalu and now Sonia by their side, this strange alliance?
Okay, let me give you two more words then. Acid test.
Acid test for?
Both
Both sides.
one way and the other. Yeah.
But you do believe the BJP can make inroads?
I have absolutely, seriously, I have absolutely no in-depth knowledge, but I think it's okay, let me give you another phrase. Indicator of things to come, maybe. Yeah. Let's wait and watch.
So whoever wins, that's
Cyrus,
the way.
can we please move on? I'm giving you these wonderful cryptic
Okay,
things
all right,
that
fair
make
enough.
for great podcast giri, and
Lovely.
you just keep ruining it.
Just go and wish somebody happy something else. And anytime you want to. Because that's always good with us. Okay, Rahul, before we let you go, last couple of things this is actually last, nothing more after this. The viewers want to know more about me. And when we get people to come here, they really, most of them I don't know, they don't know me. So it's a little rude to ask them.
Right.
And except for the smell after half an hour, which is fair enough. So what are your impressions, Rahul Bose? Be free. And you've got 40 minutes now.
Okay, there's no question of impressions. These are only facts.
Fair enough.
Because I have known you easily, quite comfortably for 25 years.
Yeah.
So, first is that Cyrus Brocha will never, ever buy a t-shirt. You have to gift him t-shirts.
How is this important?
Cyrus is wearing a t-shirt. I have seen it is torn across the shoulders. Cyrus will only change a t-shirt when it falls off onto the floor and breaks.
Wait,
Second.
Go on.
Second. Cyrus Brocha never wears trousers. He only wears shorts. I realize now why.
Why?
Because he saves the material from each sleeve of the legs and makes them into a t-shirt.
It's a good idea. It's not true, but it is a good idea.
Cyrus Brocha has 2 wonderful, adorable children his idea of parenting is taking them to the gymnasium while he's working out for 3 hours and they have to sit there and they steadily lose.
This is too personal.
Steadily
this
lose
is not
weight,
what they want to hear.
get traumatized, and then run into Uncle Rahul's arms, who gives them, food, nourishment, water, sunlight, things like that.
They're not plants, Rahul. They're my kids.
And finally, Cyrus Brocha, as you all know, is definitely married. But as you don't know, he's not married to Aisha. He's married to Kunal Vijaykar. Aisha is the awkward other end of the triangle, but he suffers her. Kunal suffers her. That's all very well. It all happens. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the truth. Now, if you want to switch off this podcast, I beg you not to.
May I
because
just
you're
say
the last
something?
person here.
I bring you here. I say great actor, great athlete, a man, I really sell you well.
Yeah.
I don't hold back ever.
Yeah.
Because I like to call a spade a spade. I'm not making up things. You've done good stuff in your life. And what do you come up with? Torn t-shirts. That's what you come up with.
Don't t-shirts, broken
And
homes.
2 plants for my children. And Kunal is my love. I mean, what the hell, man, Rahul? All right, we'll be editing a lot of this podcast. I'll tell you. A lot of things will change when you actually hear it.
What a wonderful human being you are, Cyrus.
There you go. Everybody's got their own NGO. Mine is just to irritate. All right. Which we would have talked about, but we've run out of time. You also do lots of work. You have a foundation. Want to quickly squeeze that in?
No.
Okay then. Thank you so much because that's all the time we have. Rahul Bose, extraordinary talent. A man who came from the southern part of Mumbai where the rich live and went to Andheri where who cares who lives and was able to make the great divide. He was able to make friends with Ajay Devgan and Anil Kapoor and yet retain friendships with more important, educated, lovely looking people.
Like Cyrus Brocha.
I didn't want to say that.
I said it.
After the t-shirt
There
thing,
you go.
I didn't feel comfortable, I thought that was so unnecessary. I'm
was.
a man of breeding.
And ambitious.
Ambitious. Oh, God, now sarcasm. Damn you. I nearly cancelled the podcast when they said that you have to leave. I was like, okay, who does that? Rahul Bose, ladies and gentlemen, Cyrus Says, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Cyrus Says, ask me anything. If you want Cyrus to answer your questions on air, send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com. If you send us a link to a sound file on SoundCloud, we'll even play you asking the question in your own voice. And that's what Cyrus says.
Yes, Rahul Bose has left the studio. He was in a hurry. Apparently he has to get his makeup done because as we, go up the age ladder, it does take a little longer. Not me personally. But Chavi, you're here and you look lovely and it's all natural.
Yes, I dressed up today.
There you go.
Just for radio.
You're not wearing a sweater and the AC's off. What's happening to our country? We're in such a recession that we've shut everything. We've shut the podcast at this rate.
No,
short sleeves.
Short sleeves, skirt.
Skirt? What's with that?
Global warming.
You can't entice an old man. I'm beyond enticement.
I know, I can't entice an old man.
Yeah. I keep telling girls that when they pass me by. Hot-looking women pass you by, especially in places like Pune. I was in Pune last weekend.
Yeah.
Hot
Hot-looking girls. I thought they were all dressed like ninjas.
They're on scooters. They wear the ninja, and then the second one doesn't wear the ninja.
Achha.
So I'm, and they're looking and making eye contact, and I'm like, no, don't tease an old man. But I gotta tell you, some hot girls in Pune, man.
Seriously?
It's worth the drive. But not that I would do that. I'm for young men. I'm happily married. See the ring on my finger?
No.
On my
He's
toe?
showing me his middle fingers,
on
everybody.
my toes, somewhere. There's a ring. Okay, it's somewhere.
Wear my ring around your neck.
Oh, Elvis, won't you wear my ring around your neck? It's EMA time. Let's, don't test me on the king. You'll lose.
I'm not.
Because that's all I do. I go back like an old lech. I put on Elvis songs and I learn them by heart. And I'm so petty, I'll come and challenge you. Who does that? 44 years old. Yeah, AMA. Ask me anything.
Right. So the first question we have is from Riddhi in, I don't know where, online. She lives on the web.
Riddhi can be male also.
No.
Yes, my cousin.
Is a Riddhi?
Well, not cousin exactly, but some married to the cousin. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just assumed Riddhi was a female. I'm so sorry, Riddhi.
Illa, don't assume.
Right. Okay. So, question number 1. Arun Jaitley has backed Nitin Gadkari's plan to limit red light beacons to 9 VVIPs, and we've heard you talk about...
Is it 9 or 5?
9 total.
9 total.
I'll give you the details. She hasn't said all that. But since you have ranted about...
I've ranted.
VIP
I have 2 things to say about this. Okay, it's a step in the right direction. I like Arun Jaitley. I think I can identify with Arun Jaitley. He speaks in a language I'm comfortable with. I'm not saying English, just generally. And secondly, and more importantly, I think he's understood that there's some psychophancy limits. You can't have everyone with what's the point? If there's no distinction between the Prime Minister and some junior MLA. Even the junior MLA has these strange number plates, 120000 or 00007.
With the beacon.
And then the beacon on top, and then 5 guys in front, 4 guys behind, which are mostly his cousins, dressed in the same shirts. But there's a limit to it. So I'm like, let's stop that. The other thing I want to ask you, Chavi, is what's going on with the red light? The red light has a terrible connotation in India, which is the red light area.
Roxanne.
No, I was just thinking, it's a red light area and then you have the red light. Shouldn't they change that light? Aren't they worried about the correlation that is established immediately between the red light and the red light?
True enough. And I have never been chased by cops in America, but I watch a lot of cop shows.
Really?
And I like their discrete beacons, which they just stick on their windshield wiper and it's red and blue and it flashes. Have you seen it? It's quite
that's
discreet.
more like a disco America 70s
Yeah,
feel.
I like it. Yeah.
It's aesthetically more pleasing. But my worry about the red light is it also confuses young motorists because the moment the red light comes on, they stop. Because that's what you're trained to do. And then
I
the
don't
traffic
think
comes
so.
through. It does happen.
Well, that's because there's a cavalcade going by.
I want it to end. Change the color. That's all
right.
I'm saying.
So it's
Change
going to
the
be 4 state ministers and 5 dignitaries at the center. I assume the Prime Minister and
The Prime Minister, the
President.
President, the Vice President perhaps, the Governor of Delhi and the CM of Delhi perhaps. And 4 dignitaries, is it? 4 more.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to hurt a lot of people in India. I can just see them really sulking. I'm not going to Parliament. Not that it really matters. All right, next question.
Next question comes from Kriti, who says...
Kriti, this doesn't sound authentic. We look like we fudged these questions. How can they all have same sounding
What
names?
can I do?
You pick 2 people from the same basket. Kriti.
Okay, so I did pick the questions.
Why couldn't it be a Jahangir or
Yes,
something? It should
okay.
be like different.
Okay, all the Jahangirs out there, please ask Cyrus the Great some questions.
Shabnam. Give me a Shabnam.
Okay, Shabnam. if you're
Akriti would be
listening.
at least slightly different.
Akriti?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
What
pretend her
about
name is
Kaushik?
Akriti.
I mean, look around India. What about Mohim Tura? Huh?
All right.
Anything from a Mukherjee?
Just address the audience.
All right,
ask
go
them.
ahead.
Ask them.
What is the question?
The question is, did you realize that Transporter 4 has come out after Taken 3 came out? What's your thought on all these sequels?
The sequels are driving me mad. Firstly, Taken 3 itself, I think there should be a law now passed. We have to get together and pass a law clinically because it's the same film.
It is the same
It's
film.
absolutely the same. Liam Neeson makes
I'm
the same 4 expression, chases the
tired
same people.
of Liam Neeson
It's in the same
being
areas. He
typecast.
runs in the same streets, back streets. It's the same people in the background. And they just change it's either the sister who's kidnapped or the daughter
first,
the mother
mother
the first
second.
cousin. They're just going through the whole family tree. I'm not happy. I think Taken should now end to Took. It should be like Took. The film's over. We can't do it anymore. Took, the last final chapter. Transporters I haven't seen, but I think I'm a generation that doesn't understand film. And if you have robots with strange names and each has 15
No,
superpowers.
not Transformers. You're thinking...
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
No, this is the Jason
God, I'm
Statham
really dumb.
film.
Jason Statham films.
All his
right.
films have
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
formula, right?
Yeah,
Basically, he
right.
runs around
a
a
bald
lot.
man with 2 hairs running after
Something.
everything.
Chasing something,
Yeah, and he's always
transporting
Why is he
something.
always angry and stern? He smiles like twice in the whole film.
I think that's him.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't
but
think
how do you
he's
become a
acting.
hero with that attitude? It looks like he's got the male periods, I mean, 30 days a month.
There are many male actors all over who just are themselves. However,
really?
Like Hugh Grant, like Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
They don't
You think?
act. Yeah.
I like Hugh Grant.
You do?
I would like Hugh Grant to play Jason
I like
Statham
Jason.
roles.
No, I like
so he could make
Jason
all these comments and, deadpan things. But Jason gets to me after some time. It's like he's just got this one mood.
He does. Did you see Crank?
Should I say yes?
No.
Okay.
So
no.
Crank, the premise is like Transporter, except he's been injected with something lethal, and if his adrenaline drops or his heart rate drops
Oh
below
my
a certain
God.
level, he will
my
die.
God.
So he has to do all this crazy
And of course
shit.
it's a chase.
Of course.
To
He has
find
to,
the
but
whatever.
he has to stay alive.
Right.
So he's chasing nonsense for no real
Why can't he just
end
kill him in
goal.
5 minutes? We won't ask for our money back. For some of us, it's a happy
There's
ending.
a Crank 2 also.
I'm not a big fan of sequels. I'll tell you honestly. Why? If you make something which is really good, look what happened to Sholay. Okay, one of the greatest films India's ever produced. And then Ram Gopal Verma made his Sholay.
Yeah. Listen, my brother was in that film,
Oh, he was. And it's a good film.
No,
And
it isn't.
Babiji,
My brother was the
it a
only
very-
good thing in it.
मेरी बात सुनिए. It is a very classical film. It's film में
It's a
बहुत
horrid
चीज है.
film.
बढ़िया film है. I loved it.
It was horrible.
So your brother Prashant was the lead?
He was Jai. He was
playing
Amitabh,
Jai.
yeah.
So he was fine. He was fine.
fine.
It was the Viru guy. Who played Viru?
Ajay Devgan.
Oh, he was damn good. Babiji, he was damn good. Who played Gabbar?
Amitabh Bachchan.
Oh, he was great.
He was
That
horrible.
that old
He had-
Sholay sucked.
He had
That old
blue
Sholay wasn't
eyes.
good.
His name was Babban Singh in Ram Gopal.
Babban Singh.
And he has blue eyes and a
Is it
name.
the same writer who wrote Taken? Because I have a feeling he just got this much egg in his basket. Not more egg left.
So,
oh, man.
Anyway, so didn't you read that he's been asked to pay 10
But that's ridiculous. How can you ask him to pay 10
lakhs or
lakhs? You don't like the film, you
10
don't like the
lakhs.
film.
That's nothing, no? 10 lakhs.
I
is
heard the
like-
jokes. You should pay 1 crore. My point is, why should he pay any money? He made the film. You don't like the film. Don't see the film. That's how you punish people.
Totally.
If you
It
look at my
died,
porn
that
archives,
film.
did I say porn? I meant my sports archive. You will find that whatever I don't like, I just, that's all we
Delete.
have time for. The EMAs. Thank you so much, Chavi. And as usual, you've been very gracious.
We had one more question.
You have a video of Ram Gopal Verma. Ki
Yeah,
aag.
I do actually. One of like 4 that exist.
Right. 3 are with him, is it?
No, one is with my brother.
Oh, damn. He has to return it. Tell him to return it. Okay, do we have time for one more?
We do.
Go ahead.
We have one more question. This is from Chaitanya. I didn't.
Chaitanya!
Yeah, is that okay?
Kriti, Chaitanya, I'm okay. I'll live
You're
with that.
alright? Okay,
I'll live with
good.
that.
Chaitanya, you're through.
Yeah.
Chaitanya wants to know why you always have the same t-shirt on in all the photos of the shows.
I'll ask Chaitanya one question. Chaitanya, when you're down at Khadakwasla, Pune, and you meet a colonel, And the next day you meet the same colonel. And the third day you meet the same colonel. He's wearing the same outfit. Do you have the guts to tell him anything? No, you don't. You're picking on me. Lots of people wear the same clothes. People in offices, in blue-collar jobs. Same office clothes every day. People who play football, cricket, same clothes every day. People who are waiters, same clothes every day. There's so many of us. Attack the red lights. These are huge issues. Don't attack us. Okay, I'll tell you, I'm a minimalist. I just don't like to wear clothes.
And by the way, can I say, Chaitanya, that today for the first time, Cyrus is wearing a shirt I've never seen before.
Yeah, my mother's just come back from 3 months in America with an American accent, as Indians generally do have, rolling a second R for no reason whatsoever, and already commenting about how bad India is. It's amazing. 3 months in America, and they come back and say all this. Of course, Americans now, after the recession, reverse this trend. They come here, wow, people have jobs, and they go back. Yeah, so she got me the shirt. My sister sent it. It's a Rakhi. I wear the Rakhi, wear the shirt. And my mother gets sentimental suddenly to keep the family together. Wear the Rakhi, which we buy here, but she sent from there, whatever that means. And then wear the shirt that she sent you, which says sarcasm loading, whatever. Because
sarcastic comment loading.
Something like I can't read.
And then it's the color wheel of death. And please wait.
Yes, the please wait is sexual, so
it's sexual?
You don't get into that. I take a long time.
I'm okay if you say so.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people they complain in the reverse way. When will you finish?
TMI, Cyrus.
But you know what male lovers are like, Chubby. It's a different world. All right, that's all we have time for. Now we're done. Thank you.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of the IndusVox Media Network or any of our show advertisers or sponsors. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast, obviously.
All right, Cyrus Says is wrapping up, but we have Geek Fruit, which we want you to check out, hosted by Uber Geeks Tejas Menon and Jishnu Guha. They are like Simon and Garfunkel, except they're Tejas and Jishnu, and they can't sing. No, they can actually. And they talk about geek culture. If you're a geek or want to know about geeks or live with a geek or just next to Turkey is geek, go ahead, my friends. Listen to Geek Fruit.